Welcome. My name is Michael Mastro, and today we'll be looking at the transformational Vedic astrology chart for Heath Ledger, a famous actor. And we'll be looking at his chart. We want to see, if you look to the eastern horizon when he was born, you'd see the constellation associated with Pisces rising at 19 degrees. 19 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house. Any planet that's within 5 degrees of that 19 degrees has some impact. So I think we see Saturn and Rahu, Sun, and Moon. I'll have a little bit more impact in this chart. So first we're going to want to see how the planets are operating, and then we'll see when the planets are operating during certain incidents in his life, and then we'll look to see what we could do to strengthen the chart and improve his karma. So first, we look at the multicorna signs. They take precedence in a chart, and wherever you see the multicorna signs in the houses, every one of these houses has to do with some aspect of his life. And we generally come and work on the aspects of the houses that contain a multicorna sign. So 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11 are the multicorna signs, and again, they take precedence. Some planets rule two signs, and there is a natural sign that is most connected with that planet, and so those become the multicorna signs. So here you have Aries ruled by Mars in the second house, so wealth and fame, or what he came here to work on. You see the fourth sign of Cancer ruled by Moon in the fifth house, having to do with entertainment and creativity and children. You see the fifth sign of Sun in the sixth house, having to do with health and conflict, fire, theft, and cheating. Then you see the sixth sign of Virgo, ruled by Mercury in the house of relationships. It came here to work on partnerships and relationships, which are very important to all actors. Your agent and all his connections help you get the good parts, the relationships. Then you have the seventh sign of Libra, ruled by Venus in the eighth house, so a lot of drama, researching his parts to become good at his parts. You have Jupiter ruling Sagittarius in the 10th house. He came here to work on his career. And then you have the 11th sign Aquarius in the 12th house, ruled by Saturn. So spiritual growth through letting go of attachments. So any multicorna sign you see in the challenging houses of the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th become malefic. That means they can cause some challenges in his life. So here Sun becomes malefic, Venus becomes malefic, Saturn, and along with Rahu and Ketu for every sign. So all of those planets can cause some issues. So let's look at how the planets are operating. So Sun is at 20 degrees, close to the most effective point. It's malefic, we said, so it can cause some harm. And so it is in the first house. So Sun, if it's weak, also because it's in a Dustana house, a challenging house. So Sun can cause some issues with father. His parents were divorced at a young age. He got more support from his mother. It affected his health. He has some respiratory issues. He had conflicts with the paparazzi. And yeah, so those are the main things, I think. Moon is at 14 degrees, most effective point, close to it. It rules this house of acting and entertaining, and it's placed in the house of happiness. So happiness through acting and entertaining. Let's see, he's also a director. Mars is at 4 degrees. It's conjunct Mercury. It's in this first house, and it rules the house of wealth and fame. And it is gives some feeling of competitiveness. He was a competitive chess player, loves sports, and very involved in action movies, drawn to those kinds of parts. And it gave him a little bit of an aggressive nature, I guess, with the paparazzi. Mercury's at 2 degrees. It's ruling the house of partnerships. It's weak. Any planet that's less than 5 degrees or more than 25 becomes weak. So it gave him a critical nature towards himself and others. He had multiple relationships. Mars is slightly weak because it's 4 degrees as well, which also contributed to multiple relationships. I don't think he was married exactly. Jupiter's at 5 degrees. It's really his best house. He did have a daughter. And it's in this house of entertainment, and it's ruling the house of career. So career through entertaining others. Let's see here. Venus is at 13 degrees. It's malefic. But it gives him that ability to do research into acting parts and doing well at it. It's also associated with a trust that he was involved in that got into some conflict. And it's placed in that 12th house. So gives him ability to act with a lot of emotion, which makes you a good actor. It's in this house of feeling separate. So feeling separate from wife. His relationships didn't go well. Let's see. Saturn is at 14 degrees, close to the most effective point. It's also malefic, again, ruling this house of separateness, feeling separate, also spiritual in nature, placed in the house of health and conflict. I think it gave him sleep issues, addiction issues. It also has to do with living in a foreign land. He was born in Australia, but lived, I think, in the U.S. For his acting. Rahu and Ketu. So Ketu is in the 12th house, perfect place for very spiritual insights into acting. Rahu is desire for conflict, so drawn to action movies, action-oriented. Let's look at the timing of events. Daughter is born during a Saturn-Mercury period, a new relationship in his life. Also died during Saturn, let's see, a Saturn-Mercury dasha, I think. Let's see. Died of a drug overdose. Yeah, so it's just about to go into Saturn K2, which would be end of life. So that, and then if we look at the transit chart at that time, we see that January 22nd, 2008, let's see, natal Saturn afflicting transit Saturn in the house of health. Mars, let's see, right on top of Mercury. January 22nd, 2008. Mars, K2. Rahu's transiting the house of end of life experiences. Saturn is longevity, so Saturn afflicting Saturn. Yeah, a lot going on there. And just about into this Saturn K2 period. Let's see, hold on a second. Yeah, he actually was in that Saturn K2 period. So Saturn K2, so end of life. And then posthumously, he got an Oscar the next year. And if we look at that, we can see that he had 5 planets in the house of income. So some big income for him at that point. So what can we do to strengthen the chart? So we want to do chants and charities for Sun, Venus, and Saturn, as well as Rahu and Ketu. So helping others, helping spiritual organizations, listening to uplifting chants of Vishnu and Lakshmi and Shiva, as well as Ganesh. And then strengthening Mars by wearing red, red coral, a kavash, locket containing the Devata yantra, pearl for moon, white colors, and green colors for Mercury. Especially Mercury is pretty debilitated in his chart, so that would help with his relationships. And then Jupiter, yellow sapphire, wearing yellow colors, and a kavash, locket containing those. Thank you for listening. If you're interested in a reading, you can go to www.vastucreations.com under services. If you're interested in learning about transformational Vedic astrology, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com. Thank you for listening.